Hello and welcome to another gameplay review on the Virkayu gameplay channel. And as you can see in this one, we are taking a look at how to carry as a tank and the things you should look for when you are playing against one, of course. Now, the things you're going to see in this game will be considered slightly unnatural, but I will educate you all into why it's actually perfectly normal. If you find yourself in these situations against a tank, it's most likely your own fault. Firstly, slap of the rooms, aftershock, front of life, bow plating, unflinching, because tenacity is so useful. The secondary page here is unique for Sejuani in that it's cheap shot and ultimate hunter. Normally you would see a triumph alacrity page because the more auto attacks, the more you have your E up. However, melee echo, melee Darius, and a melee set means you will be stacking your E very often. And having that extra damage with cheap shot and having your ultimate up more often will prove to be very useful. Now, level 1 we've gotten an invade. What do you think is the problem with these blind 5-man invades on the top side? You have no idea whatsoever or what is happening on the bottom side of the map. From the red team's perspective, I can tell you, you don't know what's happening either, so I'm much more a fan of a simple 5-point defense, making sure that you watch every entrance, you defend versus invades. However, in high elo, you will have invades that go on with 5 stacks and flex and clash and things like that, so just be aware when you reset from this. As you see, the bottom lane's going to go check the red buff now. Make sure you are doing so with caution, and you don't face check blindly and die. The Ezreal isn't even going to be concerned. You can ward over the Krug wall here, see? As he should do. Boom. Well, he chucks out a spell anyway just to check if anyone's on it, because the red buff is already spawned. And as we shift back up to the beginning of the red, Sejuani versus Lee Sin, this invade is going to basically set up how the tank paths and how she will have the highest kill participation. The things we're going to be covering: supreme tracking and pathing, counter ganking and awareness, suppressing the enemy jungler and tilting them such that you can continually exert map control and scaling with your base damage and tankiness. Ward the raptors after your red. He's on the grump doing a full blue side. Sejuani is going to steal the raptors as well. Now, this ward I love. I always do this myself, and I do it purely because I'm able to actually see when they cross this. And the fact that it's delayed means that if the Lee Sin does a full blue side into the red side, you can track that as well. How that plays out is very interesting. So the Sejuani here goes and does the raptors. It is now basically, she basically has 2 options, okay? She knows straight up that the Lee Sin, if they have any knowledge of her red buff invade, will simply flex into a vertical jungling situation, which you don't really want to happen. However, the Sejuani, you will note, had the Darius leash, okay? Now watch how the Darius goes back to lane here. He leashes. Watch how he paths. Top laners, if you ever do this with your jungler, please help out in this direction. Very easy. He walks down into the bush so that he can walk up as if he leashed the blue. From Camille's perspective, okay, he doesn't do it perfectly, but I wouldn't, as a jungler, necessarily be super concerned about the invade. I think I'd be thinking about it as Lee Sin. 100% you're thinking, if you're watching the map here and you see that he comes at this angle, in your lower elo games, they're not going to appreciate this. They might even just flex through this or like hug the wall. So you should know straight up, okay, they probably took my red. However, if you don't have prio as Lee Sin, it's very dangerous to go here in case it was warded and the Sejuani simply goes buff to buff. You know, like red raptors gets 3 in the heads directly to the red. If the Lee Sin's here, you get collapsing. So he's going to have to play it very safe, which is the Sejuani knows, and it's going to give her a big advantage. So she's simply going to do her blue buff, and then watch how she's going to path. Her options are as follows: blue, gromp wolves, and now she can flex into her bottom side camps. However, I feel this is really a waste, and a lot of tanks. Remember, we cannot out-farm scaling junglers. We need to get on the map, we need to control tempo, and you know full well that once we get items and a carry on our team pops off, that we need to peel and engage very, very well, okay? This ward coming in absolutely huge for the Sejuani here. This tells her everything. 12 CS, full blue side, no raptors, no red. Now the Lee Sin goes to the red here, okay? He says, oh no, and we'll discover the baby raptors. He's gonna reset this all within vision, which is why this is unfortunate for Lee Sin players. I know you need the trinket, but if you're any other jungler, having the scanner early is great, because as soon as you see this red's taken, I'm scanning. You turn it on, you're looking at these bushes, okay, making sure we know what they see. He has no idea what they see right now. Sejuani sees everything, and her tracking is going to be absolutely huge. Bottom lane here, 1 for 1 so far. Okay, so you should be watching this. You're clearing your jungle. There's no need to concern yourself too much. Nice E from the set, get the flash from the Vayne. So no sums bottom lane. Perfect. We should be watching this as a tank. It's huge for us. Take your whole blue side. The reason you take your whole blue side is as follows. Once you reach this point, you know the Lee Sin is going to be here. We can see the graphics. You know he's going to try and flow topside. So the top laner has to appreciate this, which most don't. You have to control the wave of the matchup in such a way that you don't get ganked and, you know, start inting away. Again, in low elo, I know they're going to do that, but don't worry. Watch the Sejuani. It will show you how to deal with it. Sejuani says, right, push mid lane. Great. If no push mid lane, you simply flex through the jungle. We're going to go straight for the bottom crab. We will give the Lee Sin the top crab, his top krugs, and the domain of the top side. Because we don't really care about that. And we know that the bottom lane has literally no sums. Because we were watching with our F keys on our minimap. Because we're big brain junglers. Why doesn't she do red? She has a red. It's going to expire soon, but she has one. And the concern here is you could flex and go and do your red buff, but now you're losing tempo. The Lee Sin is currently here. He's going to look to counter jungle. There's going to be nothing up. He might look mid lane. He might go back to top lane or for a dive. You know exactly what he's going to do. We need to counter match that activity with something of our own. And the fact that, you know, bottom lane has no sums, this looks absolutely free. And to add more information to that, because he started blue buff into Gromp into Wolves, you know at 4 minutes tier 2 Gromp is spawning, and then tier 2 Wolves will spawn right afterwards. So you can have, from a nice level 1 invade, which most of you should be able to do in your elos with your mid and top laner, don't even need your bottom lane. You can translate that into such a high level of counter jungling and tracking, the enemy jungler will get very, very tilted and you will just have huge leads. Watch. Hello. The Vayne who hasn't gone back to base, which is again her own greed. You know, not advised. Not advised at all. Set hits the E, we hit the Q, auto attack goes through, hit the W onto the Zillion, keep auto attacking, hit the E. Ezreal, you take that, you tank a shot, and off we go. Absolutely perfectly timed. As a tank, if you are not looking for this early, you are failing miserably. Why do you think Nunu is so good? Makes it easy to do this. You have no, I mean, this is silly. He's denying the plant usage, but you know where he is. You can see him. The Darius has lost his flash and got ganked as well. So we can watch that for posterity's sake. But he should have known this. Like, this is silly. You should know this is going to happen. This is 100% a bait. I mean, I don't know why. I don't know why the Darius is even playing this game. He's trying to keep the wave pushed into him. That's just silly. I mean, there's not even a gank there, actually. It's just him being dumb. And now the Lee Sin is saying, you know what? There's nothing else for me to do. I better collapse on this, walk away, live to fight another day. This means that the Sejuani gets tier 2 Gromp, smite it, take it, secure it, and tier 2 Wolves, okay? The Lee Sin, this ping comes through, you see on the minimap, Lee Sin might be looking to gank mid lane, okay? We leave the babies, careful there, because you want to distort the way the camps respawn. You counter jungled it because he took them in succession. Now that you didn't take them in succession, he's going to have to clear the wolves, and the Gromp won't be up. So his Gromp wolf sequencing is completely thrown off. It's good counter jungling. You could look here, I think, for a gank in the mid lane. I think this is something in a lower diamond game, in a lower elo game. I think you should look for this. This impact is huge, and it's possible the Lee Sin might be greeding to stay out. He actually went back to base because there's nothing for him to do in high elo. And if he counter ganks you from this perspective, you will not win because he has the longsword advantage. But I think looking for something here is good for your mid lane. Definitely. The Sejuani chooses not to because she wants to reset, not to help mid lane, because she can trust mid lane to behave, but because as a tank, we need to keep this cadence, this pressure up. Lee Sin shows on the ward, says, well, my Gromp's gone, so now I have to clear the wolf camp, which means complete distortion of the camps. As I said, mid lane dies, no mana from the Echo, no TP. That's why the gank is good, because we're able to chunk the Silas, and you're actually able to make a play. Where even if you don't get a kill, which is unlikely because the Echo had no mana, at least you can chunk and shove so that the Echo can reset properly. Things like this. but what can you do? Right. Sejuani, off she goes. Now she does her red buff. Now this is where things get interesting. You saw the Lee Sin on the ward. You know there's nothing. You know that he had to clear this. You know he's going to be here, into this, into top lane. 100% you know this as Sejuani. You also know that you now can get your first red buff. Okay, so you've completely distorted the sequence of the spawning of the camps. So we take this. We take Raptors. Okay, good. Tier 1. We take our Tier 2. There he is. Hello. Perfectly great ward. Great ward. You don't need the ward. Alright? As a jungler, you don't need it. There's nowhere else the Lee Sin could be. There's nowhere else because of your tracking that he could be. He's either doing this on a lane gank, he's either straight up ganking it, or he's going to come and counter jungle you here, and you know that the Sylas is gone, so you have mid prior to actually defend. So this is excellent, excellent, excellent reset timing. Ignore the Krugs, we don't need them. To get maximum experience, okay? And then to sequence up. And as a tank, this is what you're looking for. Counter ganks, experience control, because your base damages are high. Because, you know, tanks don't scale with a lot of things. With a lot of tank items, you know, like Sejuani scales with magic. We're not buying magic. She does scale here, obviously, a little differently with HP. And this one does magic as well. So you're not going to scale with the itemization. You're going to scale with levels very, very well. So the more advantages you have in experience, the more damage you seemingly do. I mean, it's real damage and you're doing it. But as a jungler against a tank jungler, you don't want to be behind 2-3 levels. And if that's the case, you failed miserably. The Darius did get screwed. And I want to acknowledge this from a laner perspective. I understand your pain, guys. You know, the Lee Sin started bottom side. You helped it invade. But the Sejuani has used the lead you helped her get, and now she will help you because it's got great tracking and great sequencing. So we can put this into real time. Give him the passive for the stuns. Make sure you Q and disrupt. He gets ulted, he's gonna die. Tanking a tower. Kill the Lee Sin, can do nothing about it. Hit the E, hit the R, and auto W, and she dies. Watch that again. If you wish to have Sejuani mechanics, hit the Q to disrupt, make sure he's tanking the tower. You hit the E here, he dies anyway. And then of course stacking your E stun with your ult is the best way to chain CC someone into death. Beautiful. Well done by Sejuani. Really, really, really well done. Hold the wave. Reset. Level 5. Level 7. From one invade, from great counter jungling, from ignoring her red side camps, and that's the biggest thing I'm trying to explain here. The ignoring of the red side camps wasn't something that you see a lot of less experienced junglers do because they just feel like, haha, I got all the camps. Yeah, but the Lee Sin ganked top, ganked mid, and now it's offset all your experience advantage. By doing this, you take away what is of value to him, and then you get, he was never going to take these anyway, so you take them when it basically benefits you. The level 1 camps wouldn't have helped you at level 3, but they really help you at level 5. Mid lane is going in. Gank mid lane. Nice. Straight to mid lane, by the way. You see them fighting. You see the Echo has managed to get a solo kill of his own. Gank it as soon as they're low. This doesn't happen enough. I don't see this awareness. You know, like look at your lanes. Obviously in the VOD reviews here, we were focusing on the jungle, but look at your lanes. Warding, Lee Sin top side. Now the Lee Sin, we'll tackle this in a second. Sylas goes in, you know it's clear. The E kind of dooms him. The fact that he has no flash and he E's in means it's absolutely free. It's Sejuani anyway, it's always free. The Lee Sin's top side again. Because the Lee Sin is recognized, listen. I'm screwed. I'm absolutely screwed. I need to get the Camille snowballing. Because 55 to 24 CS is hysterical. He wants to control his red. Because he can either go to his blue to secure the blue, or he can go to the red. The reason he goes to the red is because if something happens, this laner is supremely far ahead and they can probably kill the Sejuani. This also means because she ganked up, walked through this ward, and now will go down, which they saw, it gives him this vertical jungling. Now you've got a pseudo-vertical jungling situation. And let me ask you, oops, are you happy with this or unhappy with this? I'm very happy with this. I don't mind. This is great because that's not going to be secured just yet. And he's doomed anyway. You know, he's out of the game. But the Echo is now ahead. We have gotten a lot from ganking this lane. and bottom lane is fighting, as you would have seen. Pre-level 6 Zillion. Ah, never mind. But look at this. We're primed. Hit it. One more auto. Get the E stun, but it's Vayne, so it's tough. Get condemned. We can do it. There we go. Stun. No mana whatsoever. Ult is up in 12 seconds. She's now flashes. That's fine. We take that. We take that. Careful though. Disengage. As a tank, you often feel like you can go and make that play, but you have to remember, you don't do damage. You know, if you're a full damage jungler, this is a free double kill, but you have to bide your time very carefully. You're waiting for your ult here for Sejuani. There you go. That's it. Ult. I mean, you do damage, but you need your ult. You know, that's what I mean. Great. Very well done. Take the crab, and now we can dragon, because we have the E procs from the set, which is just... It's just disgusting. Look at this. Dome. Dome. Melees with Sejuani. Absolute free dragons every time. You see Silas? Don't care where the Lee Sin is. Most likely going to try something top lane. Now, your choices are as follows. Okay, this is a great start for a tank, but I see a lot of tanks do this, and then they throw their lead. So how do we take this from 8 minutes and basically win the game by 20? You could go do these. All right. But their bottom lane's going to reset, and you're not going to have set to help you. Silas also has enough prio to rotate and collapse. So we don't have to risk something now. Now, as a Nidalee Graves, you can get in and out very quickly. As a Sejuani, as a tank, you don't have that option. So she's deciding to basically say, listen, the Lee Sin's probably taking my blue side, might look to make a play top side, might be on the Herald, or he might have reset. You don't actually know for sure, so why risk when I'm super low HP, super low mana? I'm not going to steal the blue. Fall back to your jungle. Get your smite up a little late, but we get it. Lee Sin chose top lane. Level 6. Sejuani, level 8. Smite it to get some HP back. Now you think, okay, he's top wave. Now I can go make an invading play. And this is where things get interesting. Okay, the Lee Sin's tilted. You've just denied his ability to exist. You get hit by the plant. You can misdirect while you're in vision. Zillion pops out, but it's a 2v2 and you don't win it. Nice. Nice. There you go. Flash Q. Ult doesn't go off, and now we can steal the blue. What? Okay. So, if you didn't believe me that the Lee Sin was tilted, observe. Hey, let's dive a Darius. That is easy. We can definitely dive the Darius. Oh, look, I took aggro. Oh, you went back in. Oh, you got the heal proc. A champion. This champion, great champion, very balanced. Yeah, if you're looking to do good dives, go to the main channel. I just put a ganking video up. Lee Sin, Elise showing you exactly how to do it. That was not how you do it. Not a Darius, guys. And now the thing is, right? We did the dragon, we smited this, we only went back in because we saw the Lee Sin top. You get the double kill, you take the blue now, you take the Gromp, the Lee Sin's dead, he's gonna need to reset. He has no red, but he has 2 camps on the top side, so he's unlikely to go directly there. I think he might prioritize trying to do something on the bottom side, but it's 50-50 at this point. There's no buffs, there's only an objective on the top side. For Sejuani, you're looking to punish the bottom lane. And if Lee Sin comes, you kill him. Do you have a lot of gold? Yeah. But you're a tank, so do we care? Not really. Not really at all. Get the Gromp. There we go. We're all allowed to Smithy our Sejuani ults once a game. The Vayne ults, no point going for him. Zones the Zillion so that the ult doesn't go through onto the Vayne, but gets condemned against the wall. W comes through from the set. He ults the Vayne. The Zillion ult is still on, so wait for this to expire. Wait for this to expire. The Lee Sin shows up as we predicted. It's a game to forget. And now the Zillion dies. See, that's much better. And Ezreal flashes in here, but it's a Vayne. Lee Sin tries to go on the Sejuani. This is absolutely hysterical. This is Korea, by the way, in case you didn't realize. That's just... I mean, he hits it and knocks himself over because he's dead anyway. He has no ult, so he has to do it. Now they're split up completely. Oh, man. Why? Don't go for it, man. She's level 8. Missed a W, but... Boom. I mean, I only see this ending one way for you, my friend. Tank the tower, always as a tank. Careful though for the E. There you go. The Q. So, perfect. Tank the tower shot first. You know how much you can tank. You have the Sejuani passive if it's up. In this case, obviously it wasn't. Actually, maybe it was when she did it. Hold up. No, it wasn't. Of course not. It resets every time. I knew that. Coach, by the way. So yeah, the passive's not up, but it doesn't matter. You're tanky anyway. Make sure you tank the tower shot. He dies. Brilliant. Well done. The Silas is rotating here. You don't want to fight this. Don't overstay. Don't greed. Bottom laners, man. Okay. We're 7-0-3. 10. And because we gave our mid laner some accessibility, and because this guy actually got the nice counter gank, this counter gank was huge. You get a huge roam and dive here by the Echo. It's absolutely excellent. It's really, really good. So how do we take this now? Because, you know, it's 15-5. The game is really GG, right? I'm a fan of this build versus this team comp. I do like to go Warmog's Gargoyles just because Sejuani passive. But if you're being more dynamic in your itemization, Grievous Wounds in the Bramble Vest plus the Deadman's, that's good against an AD comp. The Echo is huge right now. Make sure you counter gank this. Right? That's unfortunate. that's unfortunate. And now the Lee Sin's actually gonna have some prior here, I think. Yeah, there you go. Just leave, just leave, just leave. It's okay. So you see, the Lee Sin will start to get map movement, but he's out of the game. Watch bottom lane here. The Lee Sin's definitely going to go for something. Yeah, the pings are coming through. Yo, no, Silas. Silas, you can't do this. Silas, she's huge. Here's the bottom lane gank. There you go. Like, this is... I mean, you spend time bottom lane, and the Vayne is still getting ahead. Your Ezreal's still 2-4. Because they greed in these situations, they don't back out. They don't respect the Lee Sin floating down here. It's very irritating. However, as a tank, remember, our job is not to worry about this phase of the game. We, personally, are very ahead. We can just simply take this. If Camille comes, I'll beat you 1v1. You're level 9 now. I'm level 10. Get out of here. You got fully completed Sunfire Aegis. You've got the new Ninja Tabby, the plated steel caps. We're not worried about the Lee Sin right now. And the set's dead as well. I mean, 13 minutes, 40 minutes. Let's use that Herald. We see Lee Sin on the top side here. Hello, I take those. This is what you can do as a tank. This is what you can do. Look at, you just go wherever you want. I mean, I know Mundo goes where he pleases, but any fed tank who plays as well as this early, you can go wherever you want. Hey, you're doing red buff? Hello, I'm 2 levels above you. I'm just gonna come on in here. I have my ult up. He's dead, man. That's an ult into a W. Yeah, you're dead. I mean, there's no respect. And you might be saying, hey, she's a tank. What about that damage? And I agree, it's high, but it's because her levels are so much higher. You know, if you're a full damage jungler, scaling jungler, and you're down 2 levels, what did you do wrong? You know, the Sejuani just read her like a book. And now you can 3-man dive this. But I think she's already in base, so. Well played. Herald into mid, breaks the map open, rotate to invade. Very important concept to do as any jungler, not just a tank. Rotate top lane, try and get as many places you can before they expire. Shove the wave, reset. Next objective is the dragon. Bottom lane... Take bottom tower. Okay. Because they reset, obviously. But now there's a dragon spawning. So Sejuani, I think here you want to reset a little earlier, but... It is what it is. Greeds for the Gromp. Now Vayne is here. You're going to get TP through from the Camille. You have to expect this. Vayne camo in Condemn is just so freaking annoying to deal with. And they're tanking the dragon. Pain. Now that's a free dragon given away. I mean, we didn't need to give this up. That's... The Sejuani could have gone back sooner. The bottom lane didn't have to be in that situation, but there's nothing you can do. I'm sure you guys are used to that. No problem. Right, from here our choices are as follows. Down to red side to fight the red team, or simply do a bit of clearing and wait for your bottom lane to be up. Get level 11, huge for your ultimate. You get it from the Raptors anyway, you're right next to 11. Or simply go for the fight. I mean, I don't like going for fights when you're so close, but You see why? We don't have the numbers. You don't want to be caught out here. I mean, if the Vayne was hanging around for whatever reason, it's tough. Ult's up, though. The Lee Sin tries to peel. Always help your team. Sejuani comes in. He flashes to get the kick, but no one's there to follow, buddy. Now you're next to the Echo. Look at this. Too many times, people focus on the Zilean or the Camille. Your carry is in danger. You're the tank. Help. Absorb the hits. There you go. Perfect. Okay. Kill the Lee Sin as the Darius does. Hits. Oh, that's a big AoE circle there. You get ulted by the Camille, but you can win this. Yeah, very well done. I'll rewind it. We'll watch it in real speed. Careful now. Good. Back out. Woo. Okay. That's the game, huh? That's it. That's the game. So, as I said, right? Out of base, you have the option to go top lane and just farm, or simply rotate to out of position enemies. As a tank, that's what we want to look for. So as soon as they get caught out here, and you go for this, it's time to commit, but at the same time, be very, very careful about your target selection and spells. The ult's up. Lee Sin basically flashes to get the kick in. You turn onto the Echo to peel. The Darius should get the flash for the ultimate. There you go, which is nice. And now he's got all his stacks up. Camille's ult comes through. Sejuani finishes up with a flash onto the Camille. You make sure you get the E-stack onto the Sylas. And now, right here, this is the important moment for tanks. You need to know when you have to disengage. You just absorb as much damage as possible, provide as much CC as possible on the right target, and now you can disengage. It gets a little lucky with the Vayne passive there, but now your Ezreal is here, your Set's here, they're 3 dead. There's nothing they can do. Very well played. Very, very well played by the Echo, by the Darius, and by the Sejuani. It's really a lesson to top lane as to how to lose your lane gracefully, and even though you lose it, doesn't mean you have no impact. You know, doesn't mean you have no impact. And you can see that perfectly from the Darius here. 415. Guy was down half CS at one point, but he knew that was the case, and his invade that really hurt him set the Sejuani up for this map control. And it's as a tank jungler, when you get set up like that by a laner, you must take it, because your base experience and lead is absolutely huge. And from there, the Lee Sin was just simply tilted. And I think this game is pretty much wrapped up. At this point in the game, 15 minutes, you're looking to make sure that you farm, give your blue to the Euro. If you're in Korea, give the blue to the mid laner. Even on E West, if you've got an Echo that's fed, give him the blue. Unless it's your duo. Sorry, Timo. I need the blue, you know what I mean? Just the way it is. Back to base. And now we want to set up for the dragon. We now have a very nice 1-3-1. As a tank, you can either shadow the Darius or the Echo if you feel or see through vision that the enemy is going to be wiping through the map. Otherwise, we can simply go straight down the mid lane and support our bot. Make sure we're there for any fights that might occur. We don't have TP top, but actually we have no TP. So, yeah, make sure you rotate. Mid lane he's absolutely fine. This is good. 1v1 kill, great, forces them to rotate, means you can shove mid lane. Shadow, you're the CC, you are the peel. All right. Now, if they all go up, let's go fight this. I like that dive. You have a Set, you have a Sejuani. Should be doable. Ult hits. Zilean ult comes through. Ezreal ult is completely wasted because of the Zilean ult. Gets Set ulted. We have the Sejuani now as well. We have the Set who can tank. And it's just an absolute massacre. Ugh. Well played. Absolutely well played. Good rotations. Darius is fine on the bottom side. It's an ace. Not much more to this game, I think. So, to recap, as a tank, your tracking, your pathing, and your map control can lead to a very tilted and very far behind carry jungler, especially one that also needs to gank and make impact. As long as you use that and read them correctly, you know, the sequencing, you know, don't take a quadrant if you don't need it when you can take his quadrant, you know. His tier 2 camps are worth more than your tier 1 camps, and then using that to track him up and counter gank him here, which denies any advantages given to the Camille and the Lee Sin, really just propels your lead. And then using that to dive in the bottom lane, knowing no sums. Using that to get a dragon, and then, you know, when the Lee Sin does kill your bottom lane because they have no respect, you take a Herald. It's really not that difficult when you think about it. And having a tank with a lot of CC, at this point, you're not going to lose this game at all. Next dragon's up. You just keep pushing them out of their jungle. I talked a lot about macro in the last gameplay. So if you're interested in that, the Echo there kind of deals with the messiness of solo queue, but here it should be absolutely easy. Take the dragon. Up we go. Group up together. TB comes through. You're the Sejuani. You say, no. Melee, get E, dead. Keg W. You see the Deadman's is completed. The Echo's really far ahead. Dead Zillion, very nice. Lee Sin ult comes through, and now you hit the towers, and you should have no issue winning. I mean, they're so far ahead. Everyone's just really far ahead, but look at the KP. It's the Sejuani. You know, she made this possible. All her actions, playing around the lanes in the right way, bottom lane even you saw, you know, the bottom lane gave them a, you know, compromised it a little bit. They played well in certain moments, but they were typical bottom lane and others. So hopefully you have a good idea of how to play as a tank, the part thing you need to look for. Yeah, great. I hope it helps. I love playing tanks. Make sure your target selection is good in team fights. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, I will see you all in the next tutorial.